The Pandora's box had been opened between me and my stepson. That night in the bedroom was the most crazy night we had together, the way he explored my curves and tasted me. It was a night I will never forget. That night had changed the dynamics of our lives, the life I worked hard to build, the relationships I has now, put at risk for that one moment of weakness. Was it wrong for it to happen? Yes, but did I regret it with him? No. Let me take you back to that night. It all began while I was in the bathroom. The bathroom mirror has become my confessional. Steam from the shower clouds its edges, but the center remains clear, reflecting back a truth I'm not ready to face. I press my palms against the cool marble counter, leaning closer to examine the woman I've become. Mary Sullivan, 42 years old, trapped in a marriage that's become nothing more than carefully maintained appearances. My honey blonde hair falls in damp waves past my shoulders, droplets sliding down my neck. The plush white robe clings to shower-warmed skin as I study my reflection. Time has been kind. Yoga 4 times a week and clean eating have kept my figure trim, my skin glowing. The fine lines at the corners of my eyes only appear when I smile, which seems to happen less and less these days. The master bathroom feels cavernous tonight, too large for one person. Like everything else in this house, it was designed for a couple, for a family. Now it just echoes with absence. David's traveling again. Another business trip, another city, another excuse. His toiletries sit untouched on his side of the vanity, gathering dust. 3 weeks this time. Or was it 4? The days blur together in an endless loop of solitude. I let the robe slip from my shoulders, needing to see myself fully, to understand what changed. My breasts are still firm, my stomach flat, thighs toned from countless hours on the Peloton that was last year's guilt gift from David. Men at the country club still watch when I walk past, their gazes lingering just a moment too long. Their wives notice too, lips pursing with disapproval behind sugar-sweet smiles. But David? My husband of 12 years looks through me like I'm made of glass. When did that start? Was it gradual, like watching a sunset? Colors fading so slowly you don't notice the darkness until it's complete? Or was there a moment, a specific instance when his eyes stopped seeing me? The house creaks and settles around me, a sound that used to be comforting, but now just emphasizes the emptiness. Even with all the lights on, shadows seem to gather in corners. I pad barefoot across heated marble tiles to the oversized soaking tub, my evening ritual of trying to wash away the loneliness. Hot water fills the tub, steam rising in lazy spirals as I add lavender bath oil. Another gift from David, ordered by his assistant, no doubt. The scent fills the air, meant to be relaxing, but only reminding me of all the nights I've spent here alone. I sink into the water, letting it embrace me like a lover, since my actual lover is probably in some high-rise hotel room, closing a deal. My mind drifts to the last time we made love. 2 months ago? 3? It was perfunctory, brief, both of us going through motions that used to mean something. Afterward, he rolled away immediately, checking emails on his phone while I lay there feeling hollow. The next morning, he left for Seattle. Or was it San Francisco? Sometimes I wonder if there's someone else. A younger woman in one of those cities he frequents, someone who still makes his breath catch, his pupils dilate. Sometimes I wonder if I care anymore. The pain of suspicion has dulled to a distant ache, like an old injury that only throbs when rain is coming. The water laps at my collarbones as I slide deeper, remembering how it used to be. Early in our marriage, David couldn't keep his hands off me. He'd come up behind me while I was cooking, slip his arms around my waist, press his lips to my neck. Every touch felt electric, meaningful. Now we orbit each other like distant planets, connected by gravity, but never colliding. Tomorrow, everything changes. James comes home from college for the summer. My stepson. The thought makes my stomach flutter in a way it shouldn't, sends heat rising to my cheeks that has nothing to do with the bathwater. He's 22 now, finished with his junior year at UCLA. No longer the angry teenager who resented his father's new wife, but a man who makes my skin prickle when he enters a room. I shouldn't think about him like this. Shouldn't remember how his hands felt on my waist at Christmas, steadying me as I reached for the star on the tree. How he didn't let go right away, his fingers pressing into my hips, breath warm against my ear as he murmured, "I've got you, Mary." Not mom, not stepmom, just Mary, like a woman, like someone he saw. The memory makes me shift restlessly in the cooling water, guilt and something darker twisting in my belly. I should get out, should distract myself with one of the books piling up on my nightstand or the Netflix shows I never seem to finish. Instead, I close my eyes and sink deeper, letting the water cover my ears until all I can hear is my own heartbeat and the echo of his voice saying my name. What kind of woman fantasizes about her stepson while lying in her marriage bed? What kind of mother figure lets her mind wander down such forbidden paths? But then, I was never really his mother, was I? Just the woman his father married, the interloper who tried too hard to make everyone happy while slowly losing herself. The water has grown tepid by the time I finally rise, wrapping myself in one of the thick Egyptian cotton towels David's interior decorator selected. Through the bathroom window, I can see lights going out in neighboring houses, other families settling in for the night together. My phone sits silent on the counter, no messages, no missed calls. Just another night in the echoing emptiness of a house that used to feel like home. Sleep eludes me the night before James arrives. I toss and turn in the vast expanse of the king-sized bed, sheets tangling around my legs like restless thoughts. The digital clock on David's empty side mocks me. 2:17 a.m., 3:44 a.m., 4:52 a.m., each hour bringing me closer to a reunion I both crave and dread. Dawn finds me in the kitchen, channeling nervous energy into domesticity. The marble counters become dusted with flour as I make James's favorite blueberry pancakes from scratch. An old habit from when he was 16, and I was desperately trying to win over my teenage stepson. Back then, I was the intruder in his life, the woman who dared to replace his mother in his father's home, if not his heart. The house fills with the smell of butter and berries, coffee brewing in the background. I've changed my outfit 3 times already, finally settling on a casual sundress that's neither too maternal nor too something else I refuse to name. My hands shake slightly as I fold fresh berries into the batter, remembering last Christmas. I was up on the stepladder decorating the tree, stretched to my full height reaching for the star. The ladder wobbled, and suddenly his hands were there, strong and steady on my waist. "I've got you, Mary," he said, his voice deeper than I remembered. He didn't let go right away after steadying me. For one endless moment, I felt the solid warmth of his chest against my back, his fingers pressing into my hips through the thin fabric of my sweater. When he finally lowered me to the ground, neither of us spoke about the way his hands lingered, or how I leaned into his touch for a fraction too long. The sound of tires on gravel snaps me from my reverie. My heart lurches as a car door slams, followed by footsteps on the front porch. I smooth down my dress, tuck a strand of hair behind my ear, try to compose my features into something appropriately stepmotherly. Something smells amazing. His voice fills the doorway before I see him. It hits me like a physical force, deeper than I remember, rich like aged whiskey. I turn, spatula in hand, and my carefully constructed composure fractures. A year of college athletics has transformed him further. Broader shoulders strain against his white t-shirt, dark hair slightly too long and falling across his forehead. His father's eyes but warmer, softer somehow. The way they sweep over me makes my throat tight. "Welcome home," I manage, hating how breathy my voice sounds. "You've grown." He moves closer into my space, taking the spatula from my trembling fingers. "You haven't changed," he says softly. "Still beautiful." The kitchen suddenly feels too small, too warm. His presence surrounds me like a physical thing, making it hard to think, making it hard to remember all the reasons this is wrong. The marble counter presses against my lower back as I unconsciously retreat, but there's nowhere to go. "The pancakes," I murmur, turning back to the stove with perhaps too much enthusiasm. They'll burn. He chuckles, but steps back, giving me room to breathe. Can't have that. Need help? We fall into an unexpected rhythm, moving around each other in the kitchen like dancers in a complicated choreography. He sets the table while I flip pancakes, tells me about his classes while I pour coffee. If he notices how I carefully avoid touching him when passing plates, he doesn't mention it. The conversation flows easier than it should, given everything unsaid between us. He talks about his marketing major, his internship prospects, the girl he dated briefly last semester. I try not to feel relief when he mentions they broke up. Try not to notice how his eyes follow my movements, lingering when he thinks I'm not looking. Dad's away again? He asks casually, but there's an edge to his voice. Chicago this time, I respond, keeping my tone light. Big merger. James's jaw tightens almost imperceptibly. How long? 2 more weeks? Maybe 3? I shrug, aiming for nonchalance. You know how these things go. Yeah, he says quietly. I know exactly how they go. Something in his tone makes me look up, catch his gaze. The understanding I see there is too acute, too knowing. He sees the empty nights, the hollow excuses, the careful facade I maintain. Sees me. The moment stretches between us, charged with everything we can't say. Then his phone buzzes, a text from a college friend about meeting up later, and the spell breaks. He helps me clear the dishes, our domestic tableau coming to an end. Thanks for breakfast, he says at the kitchen door. It's good to be home. The way he looks at me when he says home makes my skin flush. I watch him bound up the stairs to unpack, listen to his footsteps overhead, and press my forehead against the cool refrigerator door. What am I doing? What are we doing? The questions echo in my mind, unanswered and dangerous. The days that follow are an exquisite form of torture. Each morning I wake to the sound of James's shower running down the hall, trying not to imagine water trailing down his body. The house feels charged now, air thick with possibility and guilt. We dance around each other in shared spaces. In the kitchen, he reaches past me for coffee mugs, his chest brushing my back. During movie nights, the couch seems to shrink, the space between us electric. His scent, sandalwood and something uniquely him, follows me through my dreams. The pool becomes my refuge. Late one night, unable to sleep, I slip into the water. The moon hangs low and full, turning ripples to silver. My white swimsuit becomes nearly transparent, but I'm alone, or so I think. Couldn't sleep either? His voice startles me. James stands at the pool's edge, moonlight sculpting shadows across his bare chest. Before I can respond, he slides into the water. We float in silence, moving closer like magnets drawn by an invisible force. My back meets the pool wall. He places his hands on either side of me, caging me in without touching. Mary, he breathes my name like a prayer. Tell me you feel this too. We can't, I whisper, even as my body betrays me, arching toward his warmth. We already are. His lips find mine, soft at first, then hungry. Years of repressed longing pour into that kiss. My fingers tangle in his wet hair as his hands explore my waist, my back, drawing me closer. The water makes us weightless as we move together, passion finally unleashed. Later we lie on pool chairs, wrapped in towels and moonlight. No words are spoken. None are needed. Everything has changed, yet somehow feels inevitable, like we've been moving toward this moment since that first Christmas. I know there should be guilt, shame even. Instead, I feel awakened, alive in ways I'd forgotten possible. Tomorrow we'll face reality. Tonight, under stars that keep our secrets, I let myself feel everything. The morning after the pool brings no regret, only a deep ache of wanting more. I trace my lips in the mirror, remembering his kiss. My body hums with renewed awareness. The emptiness that had taken root in my soul has been replaced by something dangerous and thrilling. During breakfast, our eyes meet across the kitchen island. The air crackles between us. James's fingers brush mine as I pass him coffee, lingering longer than necessary. Each small touch feels like striking matches. "I'm going for a hike," he says casually. "Could use a guide to show me the new trails." My heart races. I know a secluded spot by the lake. The forest trail winds through ancient oaks. We walk in charged silence until the path opens to a hidden cove. Sun dapples through leaves onto clear water. Before I can speak, James pulls me against a broad tree trunk. "I've wanted this for so long," he breathes against my neck. His hands slide down my sides as our bodies press together. I arch into him, all pretense of resistance gone. Our kisses grow deeper, more urgent. Clothes dishevel as we explore each other with desperate hands. The rough bark at my back contrasts with the softness of his lips trailing fire down my throat. I gasp his name as he lifts me, wrapping my legs around his waist. Time loses meaning in our private paradise. We discover each other slowly, thoroughly, learning what makes the other moan and tremble. The forest witnesses our passion in silence, keeping our secrets. Later, we lie on his spread shirt, my head on his chest. His fingers trace lazy patterns on my bare shoulder. "What are we doing?" I whisper. "Living," he answers simply. "Finally, living." I know this can't last. Reality waits beyond our forest sanctuary. But for now, I let myself be consumed by the flame we've ignited. Consequences be damned. Guilt creeps in during quiet moments, when the passion fades to ember. I catch my reflection in windows and see someone I barely recognize. A woman torn between desire and duty. At family dinners, David's sister Emily watches me with narrowed eyes, noticing how I tense when James enters a room. "Mary, you seem different lately," she remarks over Sunday brunch. "More distracted." Her gaze flicks between James and me, too perceptive for comfort. I force a laugh that sounds hollow, just restless with David away so much. But guilt is a complex beast. It's not just about betraying David. Our marriage has been empty for years. It's about the family photos on the walls mocking me, about Christmas cards signed Mom that James sent when he was 17, about birthday cakes I baked and parent-teacher conferences I attended. Late at night, James finds me crying in the garden. "We're hurting people," I whisper as he holds me. "Your father, your real mother. What would they think?" "We're hurting ourselves more by denying this," he says, wiping my tears. "I've never seen you as a mother. You've always been Mary to me. Beautiful, strong, lonely Mary." But the cracks are showing. David's mother calls more frequently, asking pointed questions about James's adjustment being home. My friends notice I've withdrawn, stopped attending book club. The walls of our carefully constructed world are starting to crumble. During a family dinner, James's cousin Sarah catches us in an unguarded moment, his hand lingering on my lower back, my eyes meeting his too long. Her fork clatters against china. The look of realization and horror on her face haunts me for days. "We need to be more careful," I tell James that night, even as I melt into his embrace. "Or we need to stop." But we both know we're past the point of stopping. The guilt mingles with desire, creating an intoxicating cocktail of emotion that makes everything more intense, more desperate, more real. In quiet moments, I wonder if this is karma for marrying a man with a broken family, for trying to replace another woman's role. Then James looks at me with those eyes full of understanding and want. And I realize some forces are beyond moral judgment. They simply are. Whispers spread at the country club like ripples in a still pond. I overhear fragments of conversations that die when I approach. Emily has stopped calling altogether, and Sarah's silence speaks volumes at family gatherings. One evening, the doorbell rings. It's Linda, James's mother, her face tight with barely contained fury. My blood runs cold. "We need to talk, Mary," she says, pushing past me into the foyer. "About my son." The confrontation that follows is brutal in its rawness. She's suspected since seeing us at a restaurant 2 weeks ago. The way we looked at each other, she says, wasn't familial. Each word hits like a physical blow. He was 16 when you married David, she spits. You were supposed to be his stepmother, not his... She can't even finish the sentence. Later that night, James finds me in the pool house, shaking. She knows, I whisper into his chest. Everyone's starting to know. His arms tighten around me. Then let them know. I'm not ashamed of loving you. The word love hangs between us, both beautiful and terrifying. We've never said it before, though we've shown it in countless touches, glances, and midnight rendezvous. Your father comes home next week, I say, voice trembling. What then? Instead of answering, James kisses me with an intensity that makes my knees weak. We fall onto the pool house couch, hands desperate, hearts racing. Each touch feels like both salvation and damnation. Run away with me, he whispers against my neck. We could start over somewhere new. The idea is intoxicating. Freedom from judgment, from guilt, from pretense. But reality crashes in like a cold wave. Your future. Your education, I protest weakly. You are my future, he says with conviction that makes my heart ache. Everything else is just details. We make love there in the pool house, slower this time, savoring each moment as if it might be our last. The guilt is still there, but it's overshadowed by something stronger, a bone-deep certainty that some loves are worth any price. Tomorrow, we'll face more whispers, more judgment. Next week, we'll face David. But tonight, wrapped in James's arms, I let myself believe in the possibility of happiness beyond the boundaries society has drawn. The call comes at 2 a.m., David's name illuminating my phone screen. My hands shake as I answer, knowing somehow that he knows. How long? His voice is eerily calm. No hello, no preamble. I sit on the edge of our bed, the bed where I haven't slept with my husband in months. David, don't. The word cuts like ice. Emily sent me the photos. You and my son, Mary. The photos. My stomach drops. Someone must have seen us at the lake. It's not what you... Really? You're going with that? His laugh is bitter, hollow. You're fucking my son in my house, and you're going to tell me it's not what I think? Where were you? The words burst out before I can stop them. All those nights, all those trips, did you think I didn't know about Rebecca from the Seattle office? Silence crackles across the line. Then, don't you dare try to justify this. I'm coming home tomorrow, and when I get there... You'll what? My voice grows stronger, years of resentment bubbling up. Throw us out? Report us? Go ahead. At least what James and I have is real. When's the last time you even looked at me, David? Really looked at me? He's my son, he's shouting now. You were supposed to be his stepmother. What kind of sick... I never was his mother, I interrupt. You knew that. He knew that. We just stopped pretending. I'll destroy you, he says quietly, dangerously. Both of you. His inheritance, his future, your reputation. All gone. Is he worth it? I think of James sleeping down the hall, of his touch, his understanding, the way he sees me, really sees me. Yes, I whisper. He's worth everything. The line goes dead. I sit in the darkness, heart pounding. Tomorrow everything changes. Tomorrow we face the consequences. A soft knock at my door. James stands there, having heard everything. Without a word, he takes me in his arms. Morning arrives with oppressive humidity, dark clouds threatening on the horizon. I haven't slept, my body electric with dread and anticipation. The house feels like a powder keg waiting for a spark. By 8 a.m., the texts start flooding in. Emily. How could you? Sarah. You need help. Linda, James's mother. I'm calling my lawyer. I turn off my phone, hands trembling as I pour coffee I can't drink. James finds me in the kitchen, pale but resolute. "I heard you pacing all night," he says, pulling me into his arms. "Whatever happens today, we face it together." We spend the morning in strange domesticity, knowing it's our last peaceful moment. I pack a bag, just essentials, knowing I can't stay here after today. James does the same, quiet determination in every movement. At 2:47 p.m., David's car pulls into the driveway. The sound of tires on gravel feels like a death knell. James squeezes my hand once before we separate, taking our positions for the inevitable confrontation. David bursts through the door like a storm. He looks older than when he left, or maybe it's just the rage etching new lines in his face. His eyes find me first, then James entering from the living room. "You disgust me," he spits. "Both of you." "Dad," James starts. "Don't you dare call me that," David roars. "Not after this." He throws a manila envelope on the kitchen counter. Photos spill out. James and me at the lake, in the garden, stolen moments captured by someone's prying lens. "I've already called the university board," David continues, voice shaking. "Your internship offers? Gone. The trust fund? Frozen. And you," he turns to me, "expect divorce papers. I'll make sure everyone knows what kind of woman you really are." I step forward, finding strength I didn't know I had. "Go ahead, David. Tell everyone. Tell them how you left your wife alone for months. Tell them about Rebecca, about Christina before her. Tell them how you traded your family for corner offices and hotel rooms. Don't turn this around on me." But there's a flicker of uncertainty in his eyes. "We never meant to hurt you," James says quietly. "But this, what Mary and I have, it's real." David laughs, a harsh sound. "Real? You're 22. She's your stepmother." "Was," I correct softly. "I was his stepmother, but I haven't been that for a long time, have I? We were all just playing parts in your perfect family picture while you built your empire." The truth hangs heavy in the air. Outside, thunder rumbles, the storm finally breaking. "Get out," David says, voice deadly quiet. "Both of you, you have an hour." We move efficiently, having anticipated this. As I pack the last of my necessities, I look around the master bedroom one final time. The pristine surfaces, the expensive art, the hollow shell of a marriage bed, none of it feels real anymore. James waits by his car, our escape vehicle. The rain is falling in sheets now as David watches from the doorway, a dark silhouette in the house that was never really a home. As we pull away, I see neighbors peeking through curtains, phones undoubtedly buzzing with the scandal. Tomorrow, our names will be mud in this pristine community. But as James's hand finds mine across the console, I feel something that overshadows the fear and shame. Freedom. "Where to?" he asks, windshield wipers fighting the downpour. I think of the apartment I secretly rented last week in anticipation of this day, in a city where nobody knows our names or our story. "North," I say. "Just keep driving north." The storm follows us up the interstate, but ahead through the rain, I swear I can see patches of clear sky. Whether it's really there or just wishful thinking doesn't matter. We're together, we're free, and for the first time in years, I'm not pretending anymore. The motel room is small but clean, 30 miles from our old life. Rain still drums against the window as I sit in the darkness, watching James sleep. In these quiet hours, the questions I've been running from finally catch up. Am I a monster? The word echoes in my mind as I replay the years. I remember the first time I met James. I was 32. He was 16. There was no inappropriate attraction then, no hidden agenda. I was just a woman trying to make her new marriage work, trying to be kind to a teenager who'd lost his mother to cancer and his father to ambition. The change came gradually. James grew from a sullen teen into a thoughtful young man, while David grew more distant. Family dinners became phone calls from airport lounges. Anniversary gifts became wire transfers. And somewhere in that vacuum of loneliness, James and I found something in each other that transcended conventional labels. I pull out my journal, needing to make sense of it all. They'll call me predator, cradle robber, home wrecker. They'll say I groomed him, corrupted him. But they didn't see the empty years, the quiet devastation of being a trophy wife to a man who preferred his reflection in boardroom windows to his wife's eyes. They didn't feel the slow death of pretending to be a mother to a young man who saw through every facade. James wasn't some conquest or midlife crisis. He was the first person in years who actually saw me. Not as David's wife or his stepmother, but as Mary. Just Mary. Flawed, lonely, human Mary. Did I cross a line? Yes. Did I betray trust? Absolutely. But was it predatory? No. It was two broken people finding wholeness in each other's cracks, wrong by society's standards, but somehow right in ways I can't explain without sounding like I'm making excuses. Lightning flashes outside, illuminating James's sleeping face. He looks younger in sleep, making my stomach twist with fresh guilt. But then I remember his words from earlier today. I chose this. I chose you. Stop carrying all the blame yourself. He stirs, reaching for me even in sleep. I take his hand, feeling its strength, its certainty. Come back to bed, he murmurs. I can hear you thinking from here. I slide under the covers, letting him pull me close. Do you ever regret it? I whisper into the darkness. Never, he says without hesitation. Do you? I think about David's rage, the lost family connections, the whispers that will follow us. Then I think about the suffocating emptiness before, the years of going through motions, the slow death of living someone else's idea of right. No, I answer honestly. I regret the pain we've caused, but not us. Never us. Rain continues falling outside our temporary shelter. Tomorrow we'll drive further north, start building something new. It won't be easy. Society doesn't forgive women who break its rules, who choose happiness over propriety. But as I lie here, listening to James's heartbeat, I realize something. Maybe I'm not the villain or the victim in this story. Maybe I'm just human, making choices that blur the lines between right and wrong, searching for authentic love in a world of artificial connections. The rain begins to ease. Dawn isn't far off, bringing with it a new day, a new chapter. We'll face judgment, hardship, and consequences.